Hi, my name is Daniel Antonio, and I'm here with my partner Ruben Valdez. And we worked on the project Exploring the Unconscious 1.0. Sometimes we may know where we want to go, but we may not know how to get there. We designed a platform that seeks to align us with our unconscious desires and to map us to where we need to go or where we want to go. We did this by following an algorithm that was given to us by a mathematician based out of Fort Lauderdale that developed this over a decade um, and found that all words and all letters in our language can be mapped to a particular numerical code and deciphered and compared to test for compatibility to see if we can map our conscious desires with our unconscious thoughts. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you a little bit about how we were able to accomplish this. This is how our project kind of looks in the current state of our project. As you can see, we have a Java GUI that takes in question and answers and tests the compatibility between the two and gives us a result, whether or not the target question or rather the target answers are compatible with the target question. In this instance, we took large dog and we compared it to wolf, dog, or cat. We found that large dog was compatible to wolf and compatible to dog, however not compatible to cat. And then on the other side, we have the application of what the application is going to look like that is able to be ran on both iOS and Android. Here we have the use case diagram of how our system will work and will run. We have a new user. A new user can become an authenticated user, and as an authenticated user, they can use the system. They can check compatibility between questions and answers, or just phrases in general, and also input as many answers and questions as they like. They can also navigate freely throughout the application. For the system architecture, we use the model view controller system architecture for our programming paradigm. Um, we modeled each user with all of the things necessary for them to have an account, as well as attached an array of questions and pass or fail, rather compatible or non-compatible, to eventually test a ratio between the two. We were able to use a controller to access the field of the model and serve them to the view as a service. It facilitated the best. It was the easiest to use the model view controller to solve this problem, due to the fact that we can change the model freely at any point in order to provide that as a service to the client. Our system requirements for this application: iOS 8 or later, Android 4.4 or higher, requires 128 megabytes of RAM and 32 megabytes of storage. And it is an iOS or Android application, so it can only run on those platforms. Um, Going through some of the minimal class diagrams, we used a factory method for the algorithm and a builder pattern for the front end code, which housed the algorithm in it. As you can see in this diagram here, we have the different variables that we use to hold that information within the algorithm and the different objects that we used to compare the two answers or the question and answers together. Some of the user stories that we contributed to on this project were: 1, compatibility; 2, input; 3, making an account; 4, log into system; 5, navigate to explore; and 6, continuation. I'm going to run through really quickly briefly through some of the user stories that we worked on, just as an introduction to our project. Um, User story number one, we named it compatibility. This is the basic, just checking the compatibility between question and answer through a user input. As you can see here, their description of events. When the user is prompted, they can check a question and answers they've inputted are compatible. If the user selects yes or compatible or compare, then the system outputs whether or not the question and answers are compatible. The exit condition is to type N or hit the exit button in order to quit the application. This is going through the Java GUI. Here is a use case, a sequence diagram describing that. Secondly, input. This handles the input for the algorithm, so that the user is able to put in a minimum of three answers, three different answers, so that they can really see what is compatible and not compatible. The third user story is the account creation or the register user story, allowing a user to create a account, and that actually gets stored in the database, and we were able to persist the data using a JSON format in Firebase. So a picture of that. User story 4, able to take those credentials and be able to log into the app freely, so that they can use the app and also track their progress. User story 5, being able to freely navigate through our application front end, to navigate to the explore page where the compatibility can take place, or being able to navigate to their profile wherever their profile is in order to track their progress with uh, and see how aligned they are with their unconscious. That is still under construction right now for version 2. So continuation is user story 6, giving the user free option to continue or to not continue to use, to check for compatibility, so that they can come and go as they please. There's a picture of the sample output from the Java implementation. Some of the test cases that we performed on here, there's actually been an update to these. See, most of the test cases passed. However, the user can actually now log out of the system. So that's actually now a passing case at this point. So just a summary of kind of our introduction here. We built a system that um, allows you to become more aligned with your innermost self, to to test your inner desires, and to become aligned with what you want and how to ask for what you want. We're both very proud with the work that we've done, and you can see this from our daily Scrum meetings, um, to our GitHub or UML designs. Um, if there are any questions in regards to our implementation or our project, you can leave your comments below. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.